Hi, welcome to the Libertarian Alternative. My name is Mark Selzer, and the Libertarian Alternative is an educational television show brought to your community by the Libertarian Party. Today we'll be talking about market ethics, free markets, and we'll be doing that with Dan Fernandez.
Thank you, Mark.
Now, Dan, you are the chairman of the San Gabriel Valley Libertarian Party.
Well, we call it the region rep these days.
The region rep, and you've also been a candidate for the Libertarian Party.
I was a candidate in '04.
And you're a retired aerospace engineer.
That is correct.
And you have for a long time been studying the idea of market ethics and free market economics from the writings of Milton Friedman?
The writings of for example, the Objectivist Center. They're the advocates of the Ayn Rand philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
And from the group called the Foundation of Economic Education, FEE.org, which they have a lot of free market economists like Walter Williams, I think is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little more high profile, but they talk about free market economics and the ethics thereof.
Okay. And so define what a market is.
Okay, a market is when anybody gets together, any group of people get together to buy and sell goods and services. It's pretty much as simple as that. It's something that probably predates recorded history. It's really the mechanism that has driven civilization forward. When you think about it, technology is driven by markets, and culture is driven by markets, and markets are probably one of the fundamental activities of man as compared to, say, any other animal that you might think of. We have opposable thumbs, we have brains, we have writing, we have music, we have culture, we have markets.
And cities are created basically because people wanted to get together
well,
to
that's
trade.
Right. People got together to trade in a small marketplace, which turned into a village, which turned into a city, and now we have a global marketplace driven by such new inventions as the jumbo jet and the super tanker. But it's all, the progress of man is pretty much tied up with markets. I would argue that the progress of man is more to do with markets than certainly with governments.
Mm-hmm. So what is market ethics? How does that relate to morality?
Market ethics started out as a very simple concept, and it's a very libertarian concept. I'm sure you've heard the libertarians. They don't believe in using force against another unless the other person initiates it first. And that's really basically the fundamental ethic of markets. You don't take force into the marketplace. Just to broaden that a little more, make it more clear, I hope. When you go to the market, you do so you're self-interested. You go for your own benefit. You want to buy or sell something you're hoping that will benefit you. You're not trying to benefit mankind or anybody else in the market. You're trying to benefit yourself. So that's basically the market ethic. The market ethic is a selfish ethic. It's not a Mother Teresa type of an ethic. It's self-interested. So that's number one. Number two is you don't have to go to the market. You see, that's the thing. If somebody's going to force you to go to the market, then that's not free market. You shouldn't be forced to buy anything at the market or to sell anything at the free market. Even if you have something to sell that would benefit others, you shouldn't have to sell it, because that pretty much is a license to enslave people if you have to sell things on the market.
Right. If you make a law that I'm sick and you're a doctor,
yes.
I come into your office, you have to treat me.
Yeah, that would violate market ethics. And, the doctor should always be able to say, I quit. I'm retired. I'm a retired aerospace engineer. Now, I've chosen to withdraw my services from the marketplace. Now, should I have some sort of moral guilt about not serving the marketplace for aerospace engineering expertise? I don't think so. I don't think people are burdened by the guilt of not participating in the market, and they shouldn't be. That's part of the market ethic.
And which is demonstrated by the fact that a lot of doctors in Canada, for instance, are getting out of being doctors because they're basically kind of forced to participate in a system, or at least a very constrained kind of system, where they how they can work and how they can practice medicine is very tightly controlled.
Well, keep in mind that in Canada they have socialized medicine, government-controlled medicine, which is not a market system. It's a command and control system.
Mm-hmm.
And so naturally they're not going to buy into the market ethic that you don't have to participate if you don't want to. As a matter of fact, that sort of brings into mind Hillary Care. Remember that
Right.
that Clinton was almost ready to foist upon us back in, what was that, 93, I think it was.
And there were a lot of
And-
doctors that were very opposed to that.
The critical formula in that was that that you had to participate. You couldn't opt out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that the government runs that you can't opt out of because the government, they don't buy into the ethic that you shouldn't use force. Government is force, and so pretty much they run everything based on forcing people to do this and that, and it's very much unlike a market, which we call a free market, for example, where participation is completely voluntary and there's no force used whatsoever.
Okay, so who are the champions of this way of thinking?
Well, I think when you talk about market ethics, you're going to naturally think of the first name you're going to think of is Ayn Rand,
Mm-hmm.
who did a lot of writing in the 1930s, 40s, 50s on this subject, and sort of actually developed the philosophy of market ethics as championed by the objectivists today.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, any free market economist is going to be on our side as far as, on the libertarian side, I should say, with respect to market ethics. It's very fundamental to any free market economic theory that you want to name. Milton Friedman, for example, I have a quote from Milton Friedman. This was with regard to somebody was talking about social responsibility of corporations. And he made the statement, and I'm not quoting exactly, but he says that the only social responsibility that corporations have is to increase their profits.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people would probably think, how ethical is that? But you see, it's perfectly in line with market ethics, because what I just explained earlier was that you come to the market, you're self-interested. You're not trying to serve society, you're trying to serve yourself. But in the process of serving yourself, you will automatically serve society. And so that was the point that Milton Friedman was trying to make. And originally, if I might do another name dropping, Adam Smith wrote a book, The Wealth of Nations, back in 1776, having to do with this very philosophy.
Before we talk about Adam Smith,
Okay.
let's go into and illustrate exactly what you're talking about as far as a corporation. Okay, if I invest in a corporation, my money, and I am going to use, I hope, what is going to happen with that money is going to come back to me.
Yes. You're
The-
certainly self-interested when you do that.
or I want to feed my
You're
family.
a capitalist.
I'm a capitalist. I want to feed my family.
Yes.
Okay, now if I work on my life and then say, okay, now I've saved up some money, and now I'm going to pursue other things, and I want to spend more time with my family, or I want to do anything else. I want to go and help to feed the starving in Ethiopia or,
Yes.
or whatever.
Of course.
And so what I've done is I've given my money to the corporation. I've invested in them. I hope that the stocks, the bonds, whatever, will return back to me a certain amount of money.
Yes.
Now, in so doing, I've entered into a contract with that corporation to behave in a way, in a selfish way, so to
Yes.
speak,
Mhm.
to return a profit to me.
Yes.
Now, if I've given my money to them and hope for the next 20 or 30 years that money is going to come back to me, it's an investment. Now, if suddenly that